I got cake and ice cream down here.
Cake and ice cream? Oh, no! Definitely pudding.
The Rugrats is no stranger to being discussed here on the channel. From the strange variety of spin-offs to the new version of the Rugrats to even darker theme episodes of the show. But today, I wanted to take a deeper look into the Rugrats in general and how it used some rather terrifying visuals to portray various feelings and understandings of the world as you grow up. Basically, how some average or everyday things we may understand as commonplace now, but how it may have felt to try and understand them as a kid, but here through the eyes of babies in a cartoon. Now, not all of these moments were meant to represent a lesson or something yourself have gone through. It could literally be based around just leaving you with something utterly demonic to now keep you up at night. So let's take a trip down memory lane to see how the Rugrats played around with their visuals to not just traumatize you for life, but sometimes imprint these lessons and values upon you, or give you a weird way to relate to something you dealt with beforehand. Also, thanks so much for watching. Make sure to hit that like button as it truly helps out the video, and I promise I will make another Rugrats video next month. I honestly don't even know where to start with this video. There are so many moments to choose from that to make some sort of order of things wouldn't really help out going over it all. So let's just dive into this head first and hope we don't hit our head at the bottom. Okay, yeah, okay. All right, why don't we start here? Slumber Party, a very, very early on episode of the Rugrats that helped set the weirdest stage possible for the series. In fact, a lot of early episodes did this as well. Something about the early animation of season 1 makes everything feel creepier than it should be, as well as how it played more into the perspective of how a baby or kid would see everyday things like furniture and the height perspective from their point of view. This episode has Angelica sleeping over with Tommy, who when opening the window at night causes Tommy to get sick and spend the next day feeling ill, and when he's put back down for bed, things start to get weird. Tommy's crib and the room morph and stretch as Tommy's toys and items around his room start to come alive, and it all seems bad until this moon-shaped mom picks him up and the world returns back to normal. It seems. But as quickly as everything got back to normal, it all goes wacky once again as Stu, Drew, Lou, and Angelica enter the room as a cloud, a star, a plane, and Cupid? Just like the mobile around his bed that triggered the hallucinations in the first place. While not super scary and more just on the weird side of things, this episode was a great way to show how this show may not just be the regular baby-based show that some thought it was when it premiered, or whatever that means. Dust bunnies. During a major cleaning session by Dee Dee, she mentions that if they don't clean the house, that dust bunnies will take over the house. And thanks to Angelica, once again, and I think you'll notice that theme throughout this video, she ends up scaring the babies with a story of the dust bunnies capturing and dragging them down to their caves and eating them. It's a quicker visual moment towards the start of the episode that really leaves this eerie feeling of Chucky being captured by some horrifying dust-based bunny and dragged into this allergen-filled lair. At least this episode teaches you that you should dust your room every once in a while. Yes, I'm talking to you, Steve from South Dakota. Down the drain. Another short one, but one that definitely left its mark on many. The bathtub. Seems safe, right? You fill it up with water, but once you're done bathing, you have to open the drain. And nothing will happen because you're an adult. But never turn your back. Anyway, Tommy takes a bath and is fine with the drain inside, that is, until his toy soldier gets sucked down the drain, causing him a fear of being sucked in as well. When spending the night over at Chucky's house, Chucky actually used to have the same fear, but got over it thanks to the song. He tries to help Tommy until Angelica tells them the story of the random neighborhood kid who was literally eaten by his bathtub. It's kind of nice though, seeing Chucky being the brave one. For all of 2 minutes, because that story broke everything he believed in and is once again scared right alongside Tommy. I feel a lot of kids, probably even myself at one point, weren't comfortable knowing that there was a hole in the tub and at that time only saw it as this dark vortex of evil, rather than an interconnected network of pipes that drain your water. But later on, Angelica has her Cynthia doll accidentally flush down the toilet, which is a different fear altogether. Is this foreshadowing? Who knows? Under Chucky's bed. Beds. Who uses them? I prefer to stand up and lean against the wall. Chucky, however, has to use one once his dad thinks he's too old for his crib. He felt safe and secure in his crib and is now quite scared within his bed, and more importantly, what's under it. During the middle of the night, he hears a voice, and that not only freaks him out, but continues his curiosity of what is under there. The voice says he's the monster under his bed.
It's me, Chucky, the monster.
And then tries to trick him to go under the bed to see because of candy. All right, creep, relax. All of this is in his head until he takes a peek and sees this boglin-looking mushed up booger. And then Angelica tells Chucky another story of another random neighbor kid who this time was eaten by the monster under his bed. Poor old Barnaby Jones, he will be missed. The next night when Tommy sleeps over, Tommy doesn't hear anything when the monster reaches out to Chucky once again, and Tommy convinces Chucky to look under the bed, and when they both look together, they see the same weird monster that actually turns out to be some serious drip from Mr. Finster. Good on you. So no monster, well, not under Chucky's bed, but for sure under yours. Angelica's worst nightmare. Now, this is one I will go over briefly since, you know, I made a full video about this particular episode already, but here the visuals show off Angelica's fear of having a baby brother who gives her a taste of her own medicine and steals all her parents' attention away. It ends up in this chase where the new baby ends up getting bigger and bigger until finally eating Angelica while being the size of a giant. Yeah, that was fun. Check out the full video for a more in-depth look on that episode specifically. Chucky versus the potty. Everybody poops, speak for yourself. Here is another Chucky-centric episode, another theme if you haven't noticed, where he has a YouTube boxing style fight with the toilet. Okay, not really, but Chucky struggles with the potty training thing. He envisions himself as an inmate on death row, as the toilet being the electric chair during a nightmare sequence. It's very striking to see this representation of prison, and Tommy being a preacher and the adults being these tiny people, ending in a full-on execution by none other than Angelica as Chucky is flushed down the toilet. See, I told you we would come back to that. Thank you, foreshadowing. The Alien. This one is quick since this is a two-parter and the second half is more disturbing, but it felt right to include this part as well. The crew are all about to play in their brand new playhouse in the backyard, and Angelica says Chucky is an alien and that the playhouse is a spaceship. She tells the story of seeing Chucky and his dad as secret lizard-like aliens speaking to their leader through their TV with the mission of capturing the babies in the playhouse spaceship. While all is fine and they spend the episode trying to see if Chucky really is an alien or not, the episode ends with a final stinger when the playhouse actually takes off and heads into space successfully, capturing the babies. Really, I only mention this episode because the lizards. This is fine. Mr. Clean. The real reason we're here for this episode specifically, this one features more of the weird visuals, more so than the first part. Here, Chucky finds himself getting dirty constantly while his dad just wants him clean. Chucky's dad warns him of the germs and all the dirty things, and when dreaming, falls into a nightmare sequence where thousands of tiny germs chase him and try dragging him away. It's always these sequences that the Rugrats truly excelled in, striking the lasting moment that sticks with you deep in your repressed childhood memories. But yeah, that's why this part disturbs me more. And germs are just gross. It's just that quick scene and why I don't touch handrails in public. What, you wanted something more disturbing than what I built that up to be? Fine, okay, I gotcha. In the dream time, you wanted visuals that freak you out? Well, look at this, and this, and this. Wait a minute, that's just a photo of Spawnwave without a shirt. Oh, wow. How did that get here from my personal collection? Anyway, this episode starts off as normal until the gang start walking through the yard, which quickly turns into a weird dreamland filled with all the weird and wonderful things a dream can create.
Hello there!
Wait, that's not Bruce Willis.
This part is not acting, what we're doing right now.
Okay, that's better. Then we get the very famous and classic, I'm not Tommy. This singular moment, this exact frame is what caused a generation of kids to not sleep properly for at least a solid day or two. But the visuals continue as the dreamlike state treks further on once everything seemed fine. And this causes Chucky to become fully confused on what is real life and what is a dream. He fully believes that he is still in a dream and goes crazy trying to stand up to his fears and thinking that he can just break all the rules because who cares? It's a dream! He messes up a spider viciously and goes on to face the big scary dog next door, literally saying if anything goes wrong, he'll just wake up in his own bed. But you know, just when you think it's all over, everything is resolved, you get hit with this!
I'm not Stu.
Yeah, I'm thinking this episode was a
Decent 2 strong 7.
Weaning Tommy. Hey, be real with me. Are you drinking enough water? No? I feel ya. This episode won't convince you to. Our boy Tom Pickles here needs to get off his bottle and onto the sippy cup. His teeth are starting to grow in and needs to go to the dentist, and okay, you've already lost me here. All my homies hate the dentist. Look at this dude. Every dentist I've ever been to, I see this dude. You know what? Who needs teeth? They leave with this horrifying balloon that only Chip Skylark could love. And the weaning process begins. Say hello to Mr. Tippy, the sippy cup. And later that night, once Tommy passes out, he enters a nightmare sequence featuring the dentist, bottles being taken away, and a giant Mr. Tippy running him to the edge of a cliff yelling, "Drink me," where only a giant bottle will face him in combat. At the end of the day, Tom down bad. The mysterious Mr. Friend. 3 things that people don't want in their life: clowns, robots, and friends. Okay, at least 2 of those things. Robots are kind of cool, but what happens when you put all 3 of them together? You get one of the creepiest and most unsettling stew inventions in Rugrats history. This monstrosity freaks out Tommy and Chucky, and me included, and when Tommy gets put down to bed, Stu leaves the clown next to him, which causes Tommy to accidentally hit it, freaking him out even more. But as they try to get rid of it the next day, Stu is busy in the basement mass producing this new invention. After testing them in the basement, he accidentally left one on to run amok downstairs, which ends up turning them all on in almost a sentient-like fashion. Oh, and did I also mention that there's a Terminator-esque scanning system built into them as well? The rest of them escape from the basement and make their way outside towards the babies as they Anchorman style fight all the robots and break them all. Some strong babies. While less visually terrorizing, the concept, the look of the robot, and the horrible rhyming sentences that they would say all adds up into an episode I don't feel comfortable watching past 9 p.m. The mattress. Beds. Who uses the... Oh, wait, I already did that one. Mattresses. They exist. This episode is about the babies hearing Tommy's grandpa ache in pain from his mattress, which they think is eating him. Chucky has a full-on nightmare once again about the bed eating him. Almost every nightmare in this show is about someone being eaten. But this here gives me that real monster vibe from the design. In fact, both are Klasky Supo. Well, they did cross over that one time. Anyway, yeah, the babies see the mattress being moved, and to them, it looks like it's moving on its own. To be young. And stupid. Why even be scared? We all know mattresses don't exist.
But you just said...
I said nothing and you can't prove it. Visitors from outer space. Space! We live in it. So do aliens, at least according to the government and Twitter. And due to Grandpa Lou's belief in aliens coming to attack Earth, Tommy overhears it, and when he falls asleep, the nightmare begins. Who could have seen that coming? A neighboring house turns into a close encounter of the third kind spaceship, abducts Tommy, and heads out of here. And in the spaceship, we see alien versions of Dee Dee, Stu, and a robot Grandpa Lou. The character design in this episode is what really sets it apart from the others. The whole episode takes place inside of Tommy's mind and how he envisions the aliens he heard about and mixes them with the few adults he knows the most, his parents and his grandpa. It seems like the voice actors here get to have a lot of fun with this episode, and the artists behind the look of everything got to really change things up for the majority of the runtime rather than just a few moments. There's also a talking fish who goes and destroys planets with Angelica, then murders her! Okay, well not really. She gets sent to Arrakis, so we'll find out how she's doing in October. Overall, a fun exploration of the mind a kid could have based on the words said by adults not being mindful of the information one can take in from that. So takeaways from today. Chucky has a lot of nightmares. A lot of the visually terrifying and scary moments come from the nightmares. Angelica causes a lot of the problems, and somehow I still can't sleep properly. But that last part is probably from years of bad sleeping habits and insomnia, not the fault of the Rugrats. But who's to really say? At least I'm looking better than this guy. The Rugrats love to take the viewer on visual journeys, making it a staple for the show. More so during the show's early years, but it was part of what made the show special and effective in lasting with you if you were like me who grew up with it. I know I only went through a fraction of the weird and terrifying out there, so if I didn't cover a certain episode, let me know which ones you personally remember from it visually leaving an impact on you. I'm sure I can make a whole nother video going over more. But for me, those were some of the moments and experiences that the Rugrats curated for your childhood and how they affected me personally. But since you have heard from me, I would love to hear from you on how or how not these moments have affected you and what maybe you have taken away from it. Were you at the very least terrified by the visuals on screen growing up? Let me know. I appreciate you all checking out this video. It does mean a lot to me you choose to spend a few moments of your day here. Hit the like button if you want to see more videos like this, as it truly helps the video out. I try and talk about the Rugrats every so often here on the channel, so look forward to more videos regarding the Rugrats soon. Subscribe to be part of my journey through movies and television and how these films and shows affected my life from the past and present. I'll be back soon with another video, but until then, later.